Like large hair, I always felt that was a prerequisite for being a real country bumpkin. Yeah, no one can be truly country unless they own a Cadillac. Exactly what shade was it? The color was apricot. A country music artist who is both funny and stylish, that person is the focus of the video we have for you today, and you were absolutely correct, you guessed it, it's Dolly Parton, the undisputed ruler of country music, if you will. It is with much pleasure that I return to you all for yet another video. In addition, we are in for a real treat in today's film because we are about to be astonished, because Dolly Parton has come clean about her hairstyle and the reasons for her wigs. Then let's go right in. First, let's meet the famous person, then we can talk about her hair. Dolly Parton's rise to fame is an inspiration story for millions of people around the world, starting with her modest origins in a one-room cabin in Tennessee. The young angel entered our world on that tragic January 19, 1946. And her parents worked hard just to make ends meet, so they weren't exactly living it up. With the help of her mother, Ave Lee, her father Lee worked as a sharecropper and eventually took over managing their small farm in the area. She was born into extreme poverty, but it didn't stop her parents from instilling important values in her. Her mother's artistic influence and her father's economic acumen molded her future. Parton attributes her mother's musical success entirely to her. Despite her health problems, she never stopped entertaining the family with old ballads and Smoky Mountain tales. Even though she had little as a child, Parton had the good fortune to spend her formative years in the picturesque East Tennessee highlands, where she cherished the company of her loved ones and marveled at the splendor of nature. She found even more inspiration once her family relocated to a farm on Locust Ridge. And in the 1970s, she composed the wistful tune, My Tennessee Mountain Home. Perhaps Parton's legendary artistic approach was shaped by her upbringing in a tight-knit neighborhood with rich musical traditions. Parton started performing on East Tennessee radio and TV shows when she was a little girl, and her skill was immediately apparent. At the tender age of 10, she had already won over viewers of the Cass Walker Show and had even recorded songs for independent labels. After graduating from high school, she relocated to Nashville, where she became famous for her innovative songwriting. And that was only the beginning. Parton later collaborated with her uncle Bill Owens, penning smash hits for musicians such as Skeeter Davis and Bill Phillips. Despite her early conflicts with record labels, Parton's distinctive voice and songwriting skills were undeniable. A watershed moment in her career came when she switched to country music, which catapulted her to even greater fame. Hits like Dumb Blonde ensured that she would continue to grow to fame. With her star steadily on the rise, Parton began to wonder if she needed a new signature style. Wig making became an integral aspect of her persona, so she studied it. She could change her hair color on stage while still keeping her private life private thanks to her wigs. For decades, Parton has been a renowned figure in the entertainment world thanks to her unique blend of creativity and fearlessness. Wow, that's just not acceptable. Even if Dolly Parton is one of the all-time greats, that doesn't make her a legend. Does it? I see your point. You still don't know much about the Queen of Wigs, so let's learn more about her so you can grasp her tale. It was in her hometown that Parton first dabbled in the music business. She has a remarkable talent for music, and her youthful voice won the hearts of many even when she was a tiny girl. Because of her skill, she was approached with offers to appear on local television and radio shows. She began appearing on shows like the Cass Walker Show when she was just 10 years old, a testament to her meteoric rise to fame. It was clear right away that she had a gift for music and loved performing. However, the industry heavyweights took notice of her after she secured a platform. Parton made the difficult choice to go to Nashville in 1964, immediately following her high school graduation. Nashville is the beating center of country music, in case you didn't know. She first found fame as a songwriter, penning #1 songs for other musicians alongside her uncle Bill Owens. But soon enough, many began to take note that this young girl had a lot more going for her than simply penning songs for other people. It was then that people began to take note of her singing abilities, and she quickly became a sensation thanks to her distinctive voice and obvious talent. Parton became aware of the excitement surrounding her and sensed that the moment was perfect to strike. Porter Wagoner, undoubtedly the most famous country artist of his day, was one of her collaborators. Given the immense success that both of them had with just a single performance, this partnership marked a watershed moment in her career. She joined the Wagoners in 1967, seizing the opportunity that presented itself, and she continued to make appearances on his television shows and even went on tours with them. Their duets became huge hits, and they received a slew of honors and prizes as a result. She suddenly found herself the center of attention thanks to her duet's immense popularity. Thanks to her newfound fame, Parton's solo tracks such as Jolene and Coat of Many Colors started to chart and become huge hits. The problem was that Parton was never the type to be lazy and commit to just one thing. Never one to sit on her hands, she constantly challenged herself. So even though Parton was quite successful in the country music industry, she still felt the need to broaden her horizons. In an effort to break out of the country music industry's shackles, she launched a crossover campaign in the late 1970s. Parton ventured into the realm of popular pop music while retaining her country origins through collaborations with influential producers such as Sandy Gallin and Gary Klein. The albums she put out, such as Here You Come Again, were huge successes. In fact, they went platinum. From this album came several top charting singles, including Two Doors Down and 9 to 5, which further solidified her success. Due to her versatility as a singer-songwriter, Parton was able to captivate listeners from a wide range of musical backgrounds by expertly fusing country, pop, and R&B elements. Now, Parton maintained her chart dominance throughout the 1980s with singles like I Will Always Love You and duets with Kenny Rogers called Islands in the Stream. She was successful in other areas as well. She became even more of a cultural figure once she dabbled in acting and appeared in films like 9 to 5. In addition to her legendary elegance, Dolly Parton is remembered for her remarkable musical talent and charitable work. Nothing about this style is typical of the many famous people's wardrobes. The wigs from her vast collection are the mainstay of her style. Parton's interest in wigs began with a desire to express herself creatively and for practical reasons. During her early career, Parton wanted to stand out from the crowd, and she used wigs to achieve that goal. She discovered that wigs made it easy to switch up her hairdo and color without damaging her natural hair, which improved her stage presence and persona. Her hair stayed healthy and vibrant through all of her concerts and public appearances because she took this strategy, which also helped to maintain her hair's health. And that isn't all. The wigs that Parton loved so much were an essential aspect of her persona and business. Making a name for yourself as a young female artist in the 70s and 80s was incredibly challenging. As a result, she put on her wigs, which gave her a distinct and vibrant appearance. Her extravagant and glitzy hairstyles complemented her colossal stage presence and personality. Because of it, Dolly Parton was able to establish her signature style and become a cultural phenomenon, all while standing out from the crowd. Parton has been very forthright about her wig usage throughout her career, viewing them as a form of self-expression and even going so far as to say they are an integral part of her artistic identity. Her wig collection showcases her diverse style, which includes anything from sleek and stylish to big blonde curls. She was able to portray a wide range of emotions and characteristics thanks to all of them. Parton has been quite forthright about her love of wigs in interviews. She went into detail about how the wigs allow her to express herself creatively and how they aid her in constructing her public persona. She has obviously not hidden her natural hair. Sometimes she does show them. For example, when making a public appearance or during private moments. Dolly Parton's exploration of bluegrass and country music in the 1980s served as an inspiration to many budding musicians. Following a minor setback in 1987, she began her winning streak immediately following her first successful collaborations with Linda Ronstadt and Emmylou Harris on Trio. After gaining critical acclaim and financial success, Parton dabbled in pop for a short time in 1987 with Rainbow, but she refused to allow the album's commercial failure affect her. Hits like Why'd You Come In Here Looking Like That and Yellow Roses were part of White Limousine, her 1989 album in which she swiftly returned to her country roots. In 1992, Parton's career took a leap forward when Whitney Houston's rendition of I Will Always Love You for the soundtrack of the film Bodyguard became an enormous smash. Her subsequent albums, such as 1993's Slow Dancing with the Moon and her 1993 collaborations with musicians like James Ingram on The Day I Fall in Love for Beethoven's Second, were also commercial successes, reviving fans' interest in her work. We witnessed Parton delving into new musical realms in the mid to late 1990s. Treasures, an album of cover songs, was released in 1996 by her. The likes of Neil Young, Pete Seeger, and Mac Davis contributed tunes. Hungry Again, her 1998 foray into country rock, proved that the girl with the unusual hairstyles had a lot to give. However, her 1999 Grammy-winning work on Trio 2 with Harrison Ronstadt for Best Country Collaboration with Vocals will live on in our memories. The Grass is Blue, Little Sparrow, Halos and Horns, and others were her early 2000s bluegrass albums. In addition to garnering a slew of Grammys, each of these albums melted the hearts of millions. The 2005 film Transamerica featured Parton's song Traveling Through, which garnered her second Best Original Song nomination at the Oscars. Parton persisted in her support of the transgender community despite threats of violence and other forms of harassment because of the song. Her wigs were a constant representation of her commitment to speaking up for justice. Parton showed the world how liberating it is to wear wigs as an identity, rather than a means to conceal one's imperfections, as most people do. The dedication of Parton to her craft and the bond she shares with her listeners remains constant even in this contemporary era. She was active in the music industry, touring and charity work, and she created a plethora of records. Example, in 2019, she performed at the Newport Folk Festival. In 2020, she released the single Pink to raise awareness for breast cancer. The 2020 holiday CD A Holly Dolly Christmas was one of her most famous albums in the past few years. Along with the album, there was a CBS Christmas special, and both were huge hits. The distinctive wigs that Dolly Parton has worn throughout the years have played a significant part in creating her captivating public image, which is a delightful blend of honesty, comedy, and self-awareness. She didn't give in to the pressure to alter her look. Instead, she celebrated her individuality and the ways her style, which included her whimsical usage of wigs, reflected her personality. Parton defies traditional notions of beauty and possesses a robust sense of self. As her clever comments about physical attractiveness and plastic surgery serve to remind us of her status as country music's undisputed queen. You all know that Dolly Parton turned down an invitation to pose naked for Playboy magazine, but she kept her light-hearted attitude about her image and declined the request. The fact that she appeared on the cover of the October 1978 issue dressed as a Playboy bunny made it clear. It was just another example of her self-assured and humorous exploration of the complexities of celebrity, complete with her trademark wigs that have been synonymous with her public persona. Her impact on the globe was immense, and you guys have no idea. Dolly the sheep was named after her, and military equipment has her name associated with her, as well as other cultural references. Her wigs have become instantly recognizable markers of her presence and influence, and everything about her shouts her incredibly powerful influence on popular culture. One of the many things that her followers adore about her is her self-deprecating humor, which is highlighted by her candidness about getting plastic surgery and her humorous comments about taking care of her beauty. She is known for being open and honest about hard themes, and her ever-changing wig styles give her a whimsical public persona. When it comes to her talent, Parton's openness to working with a wide variety of musicians and experimenting with new genres proves her versatility and ensures her place in music history. On occasion, her wigs even become iconic parts of her performance. She has shown that she can grow as an artist while remaining faithful to her roots with her next rock album, Rockstar, which will contain collaborations with renowned artists. Dolly Parton's legendary wigs have always been an integral part of her singing career. They are implying that these wigs represent more than just her changing sense of style, they also represent her development as an artist and an individual. These wigs have come to represent her colossal personality, which harmonizes beautifully with her mesmerizing performances and narrative abilities. Family and community are major influences on Parton's music, which has deep origins. Although she acknowledges the impact of famous artists on her music, She attributes much of her musical talent and storytelling prowess to her aunt and mother. Parton became somewhat upset while remembering her mother's traditional melodies and her soul-stirring voice in her 2020 book, Song Tell Her My Life in Lyrics. She will always associate these tunes with her musical sensibilities. This early exposure to folk English, Irish, and Welsh traditions set the stage for Parton's unique style of songwriting, which she displays in her enduring classics. Songs like Jolene, I Will Always Love You, and Coat of Many Colors reverberate with her ties to her heritage and family, bringing listeners to tears as they navigate the complex web of familial love, emotions, and personal experiences. Parton's musical abilities are also remarkable. Even though she can't read music notation, she possesses exceptional skill on a wide variety of instruments including saxophone, guitar, banjo, dulcimer, autoharp, fiddle, and piano. And that isn't all. In 9 to 5, she uses her fingernails as instruments, which is an example of how she creatively uses uncommon materials to push limits and experiment with new sounds. Success in the business world, in addition to her musical accomplishments, has played a significant role in Parton's lasting impact. Among the many factors that have contributed to Parton's estimated $650 million net worth are her forays into business. By utilizing her name recognition and skills on multiple channels, she has established herself as a prominent figure in the entertainment world. A lot of people in her generation think of her as a blonde beauty with timeless hairstyles because of her songwriting ability. As a result of all of that, she has been granted numerous honors, including the status of BMI icon and induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Most people today believe Dolly Parton was just important for her music. We regret to inform you that the majority of individuals are mistaken. Like her legendary Wigs, her path to acting has been complex. She had a prolific career spanning film, television, and animation, during which she had several breakthrough roles and delivered a wide variety of performances. In her 1980 debut feature picture 9 to 5, she co-starred with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda as a secretary, which was one of her early acting triumphs. In addition to showcasing Parton's inherent charisma and humor, the film brought attention to the issue of gender discrimination in the workplace. On top of all that, her distinctive wigs gave her characters an extra dose of personality. Because of her performance, she was nominated for 2 Golden Globe Awards, one for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy and another for New Star of the Year for Actress. That is hardly a fraction of what she accomplished. So much so that she composed and recorded the score for the film's title, with Best Original Song nods from both the Golden Globes and the Academy. After its single release, the song went on to win multiple Grammys and dominate the charts. Parton did not waste any time. After 9 to 5's breakthrough, she kept looking for acting roles. Her wigs were an integral component of her character's persona in each of her roles. A 1982 film featuring her was The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, for which she was nominated for yet another Golden Globe. After a short break, Parton made a triumphant comeback to the big screen in 1989 with Steel Magnolias. The film showcased her acting chops as she donned hairstyles that matched the eras and characters she played. The contributions Parton made to television were substantial, and she wasn't confined to film parts either. In addition to showcasing her musical and comic abilities, her variety performances from the 70s and 80s documented her changing wig styles, which became an integral element of her stage persona. Her wigs gave her performances an extra layer of visual storytelling, allowing her to interact with the audience on a deeper level throughout these appearances. Many of Parton's animated characters used her trademark wigs in her voice work for animated series such as The Magic School Bus and Alvin and the Chipmunks. That reflected her character in real life. Her animated appearances brought a light-hearted element to her career, captivating viewers of all ages while preserving her iconic image. Grace, Frankie, and the Orville are just a few of her recent appearances on TV, and her work in NBC specials and NFL halftime shows illustrates how versatile she is as a performer, producer, and storyteller, making her a much-loved legend in the entertainment industries. Dolly Parton's resilience stems from her family's history. She overcame all obstacles with their love, support, and connection. She was the fourth of 12 children, and her marriage to Carl Thomas Dean in 1966 only served to deepen the already strong ties that ran in her big, loving family. This laid the groundwork for a close relationship that went beyond her professional image. Keep in mind that even with the wigs on, all of these people adored Dolly. She owes her ability to adore her own style and personality to these individuals. Dolly Parton's infertility is well known. Some claim she feels guilty about it, while others insist she couldn't care less. Although she gives the impression that it doesn't trouble her in an interview, she really did desire a family. The fact that she became Miley Cyrus's godmother is evidence of this. Dolly Parton once told an interviewer, "We just got to be good friends because he's a Kentucky boy," referring to Billy Ray Cyrus as a fellow Kentuckian. "The volunteer state is where my roots lie." He announced their impending daughter's birth and asked her to be her godmother. "It would be a privilege," I responded. Actually, Miley and I were the ones that took control after that. Over the years, we remained inseparably close. The legendary team was born in that way. Miley once remarked, "I've grown up covering my Aunt Dolly music, and it's an honor to hear her singing one of my songs." This comes after she had grown up covering her aunt's music. Even Miley herself expressed her affection for Aunt Dolly on X. "Our Azzled-studded leather belt is the latest joint venture, and I couldn't be happier about it." The fact that Parton is quite charitable is, well, as well known as her extensive wardrobe of wigs. The fact that her father's difficulties with literacy served as inspiration for Dolly Parton's imagination library demonstrates her openness to change. This has nothing to do with her wigs either. Here we are discussing the entire planet. Her dedication to teaching and working with young children was something she considered. The lives of innumerable youngsters all across the globe have been positively impacted by her endeavor. Parton's humanitarian activity demonstrates her empathy and drive to create a positive impact through her support of hospitals, disaster relief, and environmental causes. Like her wig collection. Her involvement in disaster relief telethons allows her to play a variety of roles while spreading the same message of giving and goodwill. Parton has been recognized with multiple prizes and honors for her humanitarian endeavors, which demonstrate the significant influence her work has had on society. Like her wigs, which she uses to accentuate different styles and costumes, her commitment to giving back highlights her complex character and the lasting impact she has had as an artist, philanthropist, and champion for social justice. Dolly Parton's generous donation of $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center for COVID-19 research made her a symbol of hope even amid the pandemic. Her unwavering dedication to improving public health and the world's overall welfare was on full display in this substantial contribution to the creation of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. She has accomplished more than just music. She proved it with 11 Grammys and other illustrious accolades such as the Medal of Arts and the Kennedy Center Honors. The lauded Dolly Parton's Imagination Library was one of Parton's charitable endeavors. It was another evidence of her commitment to education and children's literacy that garnered her fame and respect throughout the world. Parton is modest and committed to make a difference, even if she has achieved phenomenal success. This is supported by her recent acceptance of the $100 million Courage and Civility Award and her refusal of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. There will never be anyone in the next 1,000 years who can take the place of the wig queen and country music legend, but her legacy as an inspirational person, change agent, and generous philanthropist will live on in the hearts and minds of many.